Hello everybody, SofaPlays is back and I am here with my last card review for a class. So we are looking at the new class today, which is DemonHunter. Illidan is here and he is going to take rank in Arena by storm. Obviously I'm going to rate these cards in an arena based way. I'm going to rate them 1 out of 5 stars, 1 star being warrior hero power, 5 stars being rogue hero power in arena. I'm going to rate all of the cards first and then I'm going to actually rate the class itself right at the end, because I feel as though I'm not going to get a good idea of how well the class is going to perform until I see all of the cards. Also, he has 15 cards, so please bear with it. It may be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm just going to go through them as quick but also as in-depth as I can. Anyway, let's go. Alrighty, so the first card we are looking at is a 2-mana common. It's called Immolation Aura. It's deal 1 damage to all minions twice. I think this is really cool. I think this is a great way to get reborn minions off the boards, because I find sometimes when you deal mass damage then obviously they come back, but if you somehow manage to cast this when they're on 1 health and then they're reborn again, and then this obviously whirls around again and then you've cleared the whole board, I think it's really, really good. I think it'd probably be better if it was more damage, but obviously it's only a 2-mana spell. Technically it's 2 mana, deal 2 damage to everything, and I think that is incredibly strong because you can control when it happens. It's like a mini board clear. If anything, this is kind of like the mage spell, deal 2 damage to everything for 3 mana, so it's actually a lot stronger than that, so I think it's really solid. I think for me this is easily a 4-star card. It's really nice access to removal, and I think this is going to be seen everywhere. The next card we have is a 2-mana 2/2 called Neverwalker. Her battle cry is to discover a demon. Now, as you know, there are some really good demons in the pool at the moment, but obviously you could end up discovering a really bad one. I have come across some really bad demons in the past when it comes to these type of cards, so I'm a bit worried about what this could end up offering me. I don't like the stats either. I think it's incredibly understated, but it does give you discover a card mechanic, which means it actually gives you more value in your hands, so you can go on a little bit longer, which is what you need sometimes in the arena. You need that value so you can outlast your opponents and keep on reacting to different scenarios. That's why I'm going to give it a 3. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's the best card out there, so that's why I'm not rating it that much higher. But it is a pick. Like, I wouldn't ignore it. The next card we have is a 4-mana 3/5. It's got Taunt and Lifesteal, and it's called Ashtongue Battlelord. Now, this is basically Avenging, which is also a 4-mana 3/5 Taunt, but instead this has Lifesteal. I guess this is quite a decent card for Illidan, or DemonHunter as we're calling him, because I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, he actually has, his hero power is 1 mana, deal 1 attack. Now, with a hero power like that, you're probably going to be using it quite a lot early game, so I think, sorry, I'm just going to stop it from scratching. You're going to be taking a lot of damage, and this is a great way to heal yourself back up and just regenerate that health a little bit, because if you're playing this on turn 4, there's a very good chance the opponent's probably going to end up trading like more than 1 minion into it just to get rid of it. So yeah, I think this is a easy 3. It's a 3-star card. It's not amazing, but it isn't awful either. The next card we have is a 1-mana 2/1 called Crimson Sigil Runner. Look at him run. Doesn't he look fabulous? And it's Outcast, draw cards. Now, what Outcast means is if the card's on the left or right hand side of your hands, then you activate it. So if this card's on the left or right hand side of your hand when you play it, then that means you will draw a card. If it's like in the middle of your hand, then you will. See, I have a bit of an issue with Outcast because it all depends on how you draw. Imagine if you got really unlucky and you drew 2 insanely big minions at the beginning of your turn, and then there's a really big minion to the left of the card, and there's a really big minion to the right of the card, and then you're just never able to pull the Outcast card off. This is what I always expect. I can see this happening to me so often. But if you can pull it off, it's a 1 mana 2/1. Fine, I like the stats, pretty good, and it draws you a card if you can play it. Well, if you can activate the Outcast. To me, I think this is 3 stars. Again, with Outcast, it's very situational and it may not trigger all the time. Otherwise, it'd be a 4-star if you could trigger it right away. The next card we have is an 8 mana 9/5 that has Rush, which is pretty nice because it gets rid of really, really big minions. And the Death Rattle is summon a 5/9 Warlord with Taunt. Wow. That is insane. That is crazy. So for 1 card, you get the price of 2. So you get in the Rush that deals 9 whole damage. And then you get in a 5/9 Warlord with Taunt at the end of it. Do you know how hard this card is going to be to counter? I think that's incredible. 5 stars. Like, I can't, there's no way I can give that less than 5 stars. I refuse. I don't think I have to explain why that card was 5. Anyway, the next card we have is a 6 mana 8/3 called Fell Summoner. The Death Rattle is summon a random demon from your hand. Now, obviously, first things first, you need to make sure you actually have a demon in your hand for this to be any good. I don't like the stats. It's a 6 mana 8/3, which means it's very easy to kill. If you have a really big demon in your hand, great. But if you don't, then this is going to be incredibly poor, and I just don't like it. I think it's very, very weak. If it had less health and more health, less attack and more health, great. But because of the health, I just can't overlook that. So that's just going to be a 2-star rating for me. The only reason it's not a 1 is because you are summoning something from your hands, which could be amazing, but I can't look at this seriously. The next card we have is a rare, so it's a 7 mana 6/7. It's Priestess of Fury. At the end of your turn, deals 6 damage, randomly split among all enemies. Oh my gosh, I love that. And it's all enemies as well, so it can actually hit your opponent's face. Like, there is no way your opponent could really deal with that. Say your opponent's really low on health and you just need something to finish them off. You can just play this. Say they even have a board, it kills them. I think this is amazing. It's amazing. I like it. It's 5 stars. The stats, obviously, the attack is a little understated, but it's the reason why it's 5 stars is because you are dealing that 6 extra damage at the end of your turn. It's not like at the beginning of your turn. If it's the beginning of your turn, then obviously it'll be a bit worse. But the fact that it is at the end of your turn that this activates means it is incredibly strong. It's basically 7 mana for a 6/7 and deals 6 random damage among everything. Brilliant. That's what I like about it. The next card we have, and this card is going to be such a meme. It's a legendary. It's a 4 mana 3/5. It's called Kane's Sun Fury. It has charge and it can ignore taunts. Not just this card though. All friendly minions can ignore taunts. This is the ultimate smart card, and I feel as though if you would ever trade with this card and not go face, then I am banning you. This is the most beautiful card. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. I'm trying to look at it objectively from an arena sense, but obviously a part of me is very much like, I just want to rate a 5 just because. But no, actually, it would be really good to have an arena, because if you ever had those scenarios where you have lethal and you don't have any damage cards in your hands, and they play this massive taunt and you can't get through it, and you only have to deal like this 1 damage to get through, I think that is the best card for that type of scenario. So I think that's why I'm rating it so incredibly high. It's better than Leroy. I'm sorry, Leroy. I have to do that to you, but it's fantastic. The next card we have is called Spectral Sight. So it's 2 mana common. Draw a card, outcast, draw another. So if this is on the left or right hand side of your hand, then this could draw you 2 cards instead of just 1. So it's basically an arcane intellect if you manage to pull it off for 1 mana less, which obviously is pretty decent. Drawing cards in Arena is also really, really good, because obviously you need to get ahead somehow, and as I said, the best way to win games is usually like outvaluing your opponents and trying to stay in game and pushing as much as you can. Yeah, so I think for me this is kind of like a freestyle card. I don't think it's super overpowered. I think it's just right, because again, for the outcast mechanic to work, you have to kind of draw it in a good way. How do I explain it? Yeah, it needs to be on the left or right hand side of your cards, of your hand. So that's why it's only 3 stars, because you're not always going to activate it. The next card we have is a 2 mana 3/2 Murloc. Oh, look how cute he is, called the Furious Felfin, and his battle cry is, if your hero attacked this turn, gain +1 attack and rush. Now, this is really good. This is even good if you played it on turn 3, because you can hero power for 1 mana, you can attack with your hero's face, and then this is a 4/2 rush. And this can clear any free drop there is. I think it's brilliant. To me, I'll say 4. Let's give it a 4-star rating. Obviously it's gonna die the moment it kills something, because it's only got 2 health, but I think it's a really solid card. Definitely. The next card we have is a 9 mana 7/9 Taunt. Bit understated, very, very high costing. It's called Pit Commander. It's an epic, and at the end of your turn, summon a demon from your deck. So of course, this relies on you having demons in your deck. The reason I'm not a fan of the card is because it's incredibly slow, and I don't like cards where you can't actually use your hero power. If that makes sense. Like, I like to be able to use my hero power quite a bit with my cards, like towards the end of the game. So for me, this is a 2-star card, because again, it's very situational. I don't think it's always going to pull the cards you want to, or none at all if you don't have any demons. The next card we have is a 5 mana legendary spell called Metamorphosis even. Swap your hero power to deal 5 damage. After 2 uses, swap it back. So this is kind of like, I'm trying to think of a card that just deals 5 damage. Let's do like a downgraded fireball, but twice. I quite like it. And the fact that it only swaps back after you've used it twice. So it's not like a time frame you have to use it within. It's just if you've used it twice, then it goes back to normal, which I think it's really, really solid. Also, dealing 5 damage is so useful in Arena. Like, it's a great way to remove cards. Obviously, your hero power is only 1 mana as well. So yeah, it's 1 mana deal 5 damage with your hero power. So the first turn is going to be 6 mana to trigger it. So 6 mana for 5 damage, not that great, but obviously the turn after, or whenever you decide to use that 5 damage, it's only going to be 1 mana. And then you have the rest of your mana to play around with whatever card you want to. So it is really, really solid. I think this is like a 4-star card. Again, I don't think it's that insane or overpowered, especially in Arena, but it's a nice form of removal. And yeah, it's a great way to clear the board if you're behind. The next card we have is called Walkways of Ofazzinoth. It's a 5 mana 3/4, and after attacking a minion, your hero may attack again. I'm kind of glad this is an epic because this would make me sad if I was to go up against it. It's basically a Fool's Bane, but you can go face with it, so you don't have that drawback. So if you keep attacking minions, then you can attack again. Awesome. But you can actually hit face with it if you want to. How good is that? I think it's so strong. I think it's a 5-star card. I love it. Oh my gosh. Like that's a 12/16 altogether. You can remove so many minions with this. It's bonkers. So yeah. And then the last card we have, I can't believe we got through all of them. Really? The next card we got is a 5 mana rare called the Skull of Guldan. Don't know how Guldan feels about that. It's draw 3 cards, outcast, reduce their cost by 3. Now, that is amazing. So if it's on the left or right hand side of your hands, then those cards can be reduced by 3 mana. Obviously, again, it's very situational, but this is a card you would play late game. So you would have been able to play your late game minions on the left or right hand side of your hands, like to make sure you can play this. So that's why I think it is a 5-star card, because it's really good. It draws you 3 cards and it reduces their cost by 3. I think it's very easy to pull off. If you can pull it off early game, it may be a little bit slow. But like, say you draw like a 3 mana card, then that's a 0 mana 3 mana card that you can just chuck down on the board and be like, there I am. Heck, you can draw 3 minions that are like 3 mana or less and then just play them. Like, I think it's really, really good. That's why I'm just giving it 5 stars. Like, it's a little bit slow. Usually I'm not a fan of slow cards, but the fact that everything, like, every single card that gets drawn by it is reduced by 3, I think is kind of insane. Obviously, again, it has to be on the left or right hand side of your hands, but this is kind of a card you kind of draw. I think it's kind of a card you kind of like get rid of in the beginning of the game and then hope you draw later, and then you can draw more stuff afterwards. Because like, imagine you play this on turn 8 and you drew a 6 mana card with it. That 6 mana card is now 3 mana, so you can play that 6 mana card right afterwards. So you're not really missing too much with it. But yeah, those are all the cards. Now we're going to have a look at the hero himself. We're going to have a look right now. Okay, so this is the new hero. So this is Illidan Stormrage, and this is his portrait to that side. Sorry, wrong side. And this is his hero power. So his hero power is only 1 mana, so it's 1 mana less than the rest of the heroes, and it's +1 attack this turn. I think it's actually kind of strong. And the reason I'm saying this is because the fact that you can just play it on turn 1. Have you ever had a scenario in Arena where someone plays a 1 health, 1 mana minion, but you don't want a coin to hero power it away, so you kind of have to ignore it and it feels absolutely bad? That's why I really like this. I just like the hero power, and it doesn't take too much mana as well. It's another thing, like when you feel really bad, like when you're on 4 mana and you have a 3 mana minion, but you don't have a 4 mana one, and you need to ping away a minion on board. This way you can literally do that and still play the minion that you have in your hands. I think he's really fantastic, and also judging by all the cards I've seen, I don't think I've rated any of the cards badly. No, all of the cards that we've seen have been absolutely fantastic. So I think as a class in Arena, maybe he may draw just a little bit behind the others just because they have a lot more cards than he does. So there's a lot more of a pool of cards they can choose from. However, that could actually serve in his favour because a lot of the cards that he has are really, really good. So it's not actually a drawback. If anything, when you're drafting him, because we're going to see the class cards get offered quite often, you're actually going to end up with really decent decks most of the time. So yeah, a lot of his cards are really, really good, and I think he's a strong hero power. He looks beautiful. Like, look at that face. Doesn't he look beautiful? To me, I think he is probably going to be one of the top tier classes for a little bit, just until Hearthstone decide to give him a few bad cards. It's bound to happen. Although, judging from what I've seen so far, I feel like every expansion we are just getting a little bit more powerful. So, I don't know. But yeah, I think he's going to be a top tier class. I think I'm going to rate him 4 stars. I think the Outcast cards, as good as they are, can draw you back a little bit, because I think it makes you play a little differently, and it may not necessarily always work out in your favour, because you may end up doing something that is not necessarily the correct play just so you can get the advantage of those cards. I don't know. I don't think it's always going to work out, but he's definitely a pick. Like, when I see him in arena, I am going to try and pick him as much as I can, just to mess around with him and see him just go and do his thing. But anyway, I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, then please let me know. We are going to be looking at the neutral, rares and epics and legendaries, of course. We can't forget those legendaries. And we're going to see how they could affect the arena as well. I'm going to get my opinion, and again, 1 out of 5 star ratings, as I do. But again, thanks for watching. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.